Ruth's story is one of loyalty, love, humility, and God's providence.
In today's episode, we continue our series on the women of the Bible by looking at the book of Ruth. The story opens in Moab. We meet a man named Elimelech and his wife Naomi. And they have 2 sons. Now, the family is from Bethlehem. But they've had to flee there because of a famine. The sons, Mahlon and Chilion, end up marrying 2 Moabite women, Ruth and Orpah. But sadly, the story doesn't end happily ever after. In fact, it gets way worse. Over time, Elimelech, Mahlon, and Chilion all die, which leaves Naomi a bitter and grieving widow, and she's now alone with the 3 women, Ruth, Orpah, her 2 daughters-in-law, who are also widows. So Naomi decides she wants to return back to Bethlehem. She calls her daughters-in-law aside and she tells them that she realizes how young they are and she doesn't want them to be stuck being widows in Moab. She tells them to go back to their families. She encourages them to find new husbands. And with tears, Orpah agrees and she goes back to her family. But Ruth refuses to leave Naomi's side. And here's what she says: "Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people and your God my God. Where you are, I will be. And there I will worship." Wow, what a choice. What a decision. So they arrive back in Bethlehem. And Naomi's return stirs up the whole town. Everyone is talking about her, and they can't believe how much weight she's lost. Her name, Naomi, actually means pleasant. But now everyone calls her Mara, which means bitter. So Naomi is definitely not happy with how things are going. But Ruth continues to be loyal and true. Now, when food was scarce, Ruth would go out into the fields to glean whatever grain she could gather up. And it just so happens that she ends up in the field of one particular man. His name was Boaz, and he was actually a wealthy relative of Elimelech, Naomi's deceased husband. Now, when Boaz noticed Ruth in his field, he asked his workers to let her glean as much as she wanted and to treat her kindly. He even made sure that she got to eat from the best grain that was picked that day. When Naomi heard this, she was very thankful. And she told Ruth, "Your kindness, Boaz, is better than that of the men of Moab, who are of my own flesh and bones. And you, my son's uncle, are at our right hand, though you are near kin. You have made my heart glad and have relieved my bones. And now both my daughter-in-laws love you, and your unfailing love to them is better than that of the Egyptians who lived among the Canaanites." Therefore Ruth said, "I would rather be a servant in your house sweeping the floors than serve all the gods of Moab." So Naomi decides she has God not take matters into her own hands, and she has God not secure the future for Ruth. She tells Ruth to put on her finest clothes, to wash her hair, and to put on lotions, and to go down to the threshing floor where Boaz was staying. She tells her to wait until he falls asleep and then to approach him. She says, "Lend me your cloak and cover me from head to toe. Then lie down beside me, but do not touch me." Ruth does everything exactly as Naomi tells her. And when Boaz awakens, he sees Ruth lying at his feet and he asks her, "Who are you?" And Ruth replies, "I am Ruth, your servant. Spread the corner of your garment over your servant, for you are a close relative of the deceased, and you will protect me." And Boaz is impressed by how humble and loyal she is. So he agrees and covers her with his cloak. And he says, "The Lord God of Israel, may I find favor in your eyes. Since you have shown such kindness, do not go back to your Moabitess, your maidservant, for I will surely set up over you a secure marriage here in our country. Then you shall be like one of the daughters of Israel. It shall be that when you go out of the gate, no one will mention you. And so you will be known throughout the house of your husband. And when you are few in number, I will add your strength, and when you are weak, I will make you strong. Yet you must wait for me. For the morning watch is over, and it is appointed that I should deal kindly with you." It turns out there was another relative who had the first right to redeem Ruth. So Boaz goes to the town gate and he meets with this man. But the guy says he's not interested in redeeming Ruth or the land. So Boaz is able to take the right. And soon the town elders and all the people were called together. They blessed the union of Boaz and Ruth, and they celebrated with a feast. And about 7 months later, Ruth gave birth to a baby boy, and they named him Ob, which means bow or servant. He would later become the grandfather of King David. So through faith, Ruth became part of the royal line and the messianic line of Israel. And many years later, Naomi picked up the nickname that the people had given her, which was Mara, and changed it to Mada, which means pleasant. She became very happy because she saw how God had redeemed her and her daughter-in-law Ruth. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, be sure to leave us a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please join us by clicking the button below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.